Okay, so we are going to start our financial planning unit, which happens to be one of my favorite units of the year. I just kind of want to go over what you are looking at doing. So I have the breakdown right here. It gives you the points for what you're doing as well as the date for which you're doing it. And you are going to go through and do a series of tasks that will follow you into the real world. It is a financial planning unit for your future. To begin with, first of all, it says here the purpose of this unit is to prepare you for situations that you may encounter outside of high school. I hope that you see the value in this unit and learn a little bit about financial planning once you enter the world of work. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be inserting your images or screenshots of your research and attaching them within the document. And then obviously turning this in. But I did have the dates here so that you could follow it. Okay, coming into the actual financial planning project, what you're going to do first is you are going to get a full-time job. And you might have a job right now. So this right here, calculating your monthly net income, you might have a job right now. You will find the picture of whatever you are doing currently. If you don't have a job, then you will find an ad for a job. This is not a career, so you're not going in and being a lawyer here. This is a job. And you are going to find how much per hour you make. You are going to calculate the wage. Let me see what this says. Okay, so this new job pays minimum wage or a maximum of $4 above minimum wage. I'm doing this because I want you guys to be realistic about an entry level job. And then from there, what you're going to do is you are going to calculate for a 40-hour per week job, what you would make. And then I'm going to have you guys take out 10% tax. That's what you're doing right here for the net income calculations. You're going to essentially be taking out like 10% of that is going to go to taxes. Okay, so that's day one. Day two, you're going to find a place to rent. You may have up to two roommates, but you must each have your own bedroom. You must each have your own bedroom. So if you have two roommates, that means you need to find a three-bedroom facility. So no bunking up, because I want you again to be realistic about what that might look like. And then you'll calculate the monthly costs as well as taking into account any deposits that you have. And then you also need to think about furnishing your new apartment. So those are all things that you need to think about, but you're going to find a place to rent. So you're going to place a picture of that here. You're then going to, on the next day, calculate your monthly living expenses. Okay, these are extras that you might not think about that you might have to pay. So you're going to have to research this. This is a lot of research. Like, how much does it cost for a three-bedroom place if you have two roommates, right? To have a gas and electric bill. If you have a car payment, you might want to put what that is. Car insurance, you're taking that over now from your parents. They might be paying for it. What does that look like? Gas expense. So you are going to go through and look at these. And then obviously talk about what all of your monthly costs of living are now. You're going to go through, this is not based on that same salary. That's kind of all one little chunk. You can see it's the same color. Now I want you guys to experience what it looks like to buy a car. So you're going to have a car payment calculator. You're going to go through, you're going to find a picture of the car that you want, as well as a picture of the car payment calculator for what it looks like to finance a car for 60 or 72 months. You're going to do the same type of thing. I know you're not going to probably buy a house right out of high school, but I want you to experience this using a mortgage payment calculator. Okay. You must have at least 10% down. So what does that look like? What's your down payment on the house that you want to buy? In real life, if you put less than 20%, you have to have like a first and a second on your mortgage, and that second is even higher than your first. So there's a lot to take into consideration here, but I do want you guys to buy a house and feel what that looks like. You'll notice that this one as well is grouped together with the buying the house as far as the color goes, because something that a lot of people don't realize is that there's property tax that you pay. This can be $1,000 or more a month, actually. For your property tax, and that's something you need to take into consideration. So you might have a $2,000 a month buying a house. You found a house that you have $2,000 is what you're paying for your mortgage, which would be pretty low. But if you did find that, and something to keep in mind is that you're going to have to pay at least $600, $700, $800 more a month for your property taxes. So it might seem like you can afford this house, but when it gets down to the property taxes, you might not be able to. So I want you guys to feel that as well. Home insurance is something else you have to calculate. You're going to assume that your insurance is like around $900 a year, and then you're going to calculate all of that to see what your total mortgage cost is. You could use $900. I think ours is $2,000 now at this point. So it really ranges on the houses. You might want to research that first, but then what you're doing is you're going through and you are calculating your monthly mortgage total. Just a couple more that you're doing. You're going to do a cost of a child over time. You're actually going to use Desmos to research. This is a research base. You're going to have to go through and research online. What is the cost of a child over time? You might want to put on there, what is the cost of somebody when they're 1 years old or 2 years old, or but your axis on Desmos must go from 0 to 18 years old, and then you are actually making a graph of what it costs each year to have a child. And this is completely research. It says here research. That's really important. You need to research that. And then the last thing that you're going to do, actually, the second to last thing, because I did add credit cards in here, you are going to build a resume. I have an example of my resume here. If you guys want to look at it, this is just an example, but this is an example of what possibly a resume could look like for you. Given that there's probably not a lot of stuff to put in here, something to think about is creating maybe a profile. And again, yours does not need to look like this, but creating a profile where you put positive attributes about yourself, and then maybe different things that you have done in school or accomplished in school. So that might be something that you put there. Okay, you can look at other templates as well. Let me pull this down. Let me get back to the financial, because the last thing you're going to do is you are going to research credit cards. And researching credit cards, the first day you're going to list the pros and cons. This is very, very important. You're going to research this topic for at least 10 minutes. And then you're going to actually put the link here that you explored and talk about the different pros and cons of having a credit card versus not having a credit card. That's very important to know, because there will be people that tell you, no, never get a credit card. It's the worst decision I ever made. Or you have to get a credit card because that's how you build credit. But I want you guys to research these pros and cons so that that way you know what the goods and bads are of credit cards. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to create a Google Drawing that compares two different credit cards. This is really a chance for you to figure out like what are the good things of credit cards, and if I were to get a credit card, here are two different ones that I'm going to compare that I think are really good. So you might want to start going through and researching those credit cards. So that is your financial planning project. It's 2.5 weeks long, so it's pretty long. You have all the way until the 23rd of February to turn this in, and it is going to be worth 100 points, so it's pretty substantial. If you have any questions, I'll obviously be helping you throughout this process, but I just wanted to do a quick overview of the video or of the project so that that way you know where to go from here. Good luck, guys.